There are a lot of people who hate how the 2022 and up Subaru WRX looks, and I don't blame them. It has all this unpainted plastic, like the front bumper, cross-track cladding, and of course, the rear bumper, which makes you just wanna... Now, I don't have the type of facilities to go ahead and paint match everything, but I believe there are some mods that I can add on to this car that, in my opinion, will help the look significantly. But I need to do it in a phased approach, and personally for me, the rear end is the ugliest part of the car, so that's where we'll start in this video.
The overall shape of the rear end isn't terrible, it's just the amount of plastic that takes up the rear end. It's disproportionately plastic. Now I intend to fix this in two ways: distraction and interruption.
Distraction meaning I want to take people's focus away from the black bumper and move it up. And what better way to distract them than installing a massive STI wing.
This is the Noble STI style wing, paint matched in sapphire blue. I sourced this from Import Image Racing and they were great to deal with and even got me a little discount.
The reason why I went with a big wing instead of a duckbill type is because I think it suits the car. I've seen VBWRXs overseas come with its stock, like the Club Spec and the STI S4 Sport, and I've even seen it in the news. In my opinion, I think it looks really good. Now what I mean by interruption is by interrupting the darkness of the bumper with a nice and bright F1 light.
To help install the parts, I called up my good friend Errol. If you guys are OG subscribers, I did a video on his car back in 2022. And that's a funny thought. My Subaru dominant channel started off with Evo stuff. Also like and subscribe if you want to see how quick the WRX is against the Evo. After watching a quick tutorial, we started with the wing install. The first step was to remove the trunk liner, which was held in by some clips. The wing came with these templates for the mounting points for where you have to drill. I used the edges of the trunk itself to line it up, and it was fairly straightforward. Now the point of no return. I scored all of the mounting points with a small bit, just so when I do go in with the larger bit, it has something to sit into. I started off with some pilot holes with a small bit. The hole that was closest to the edge of the car needed a piece of towel or microfiber underneath the trunk, just so I didn't dig into the weather liner. Then I went through all the holes again with a 1/4 inch drill bit, and that was the final size that we needed for our mounting points. On the inside of the trunk, we had to open up the inner layer of the trunk itself to allow for the washer and nut to be installed. After removing the template, it was now time to mount the wing bases. I installed all the weather stripping and the actual mounting threads the day before to save time. But now it's just time to peel it, which is essentially just double-sided tape.
Amazing. Now it's time to put the actual wing on the car. Alrighty, I'll let you get that side. You lined up on that side?
Good.
Nice. It's looking pretty good. And I think it's just 3 bolts. Yeah, just 3 bolts.
A plastic piece was provided to cover the wing bridge bolts, and it was installed using self-tapping screws.
Now that we have the wing installed, the next step is to install the F1 light. This one comes with a quick connect harness, so the install will be way easier.
The first step was to remove one of the taillights, as we're going to use the taillight wiring to power up the F1 light. After removing that plastic plate, which I just threw in the trunk here, it's just 2 10mm bolts, and then the tail light comes off.
There you go. Goddamn. Goddamn wires.
Then I used a plastic card, which in this case I used my Costco card, to pop out the plastic piece where the F1 light will be installed. Then I popped out a couple clips where our pseudo diffuser gets fastened down to, just so we have access from the underside to install the F1 light. Then I taped the F1 wiring to the end of an old fishing rod that I had to quite literally fish the wiring up through the taillight housing.
Engineers. Who VDR. Okay. So I think this goes here. So let's make sure everything is tight. And then this goes there.
Before installing the F1 light completely, we decided to do a quick test to make sure the functionality is all there.
Whoa! Okay, cool. Not going anywhere. Ah!
You good?
Oh my god. Yes.
Yes, sir, dude.
Ready for this, bro? The interruption and the distraction.
I wanted to see how these mods looked while driving, so Errol threw on the GoPro and followed behind me as we went on a quick cruise. But more importantly, I just wanted to make sure that the parts were installed properly and didn't fall off while I was driving. You can see here that the F1 light is way brighter than the tail light running light. And the reason why is because I believe it's not an F1 light, but it's technically a fog light. And in overseas markets like in the UK, a rear fog light is mandatory, so it's meant to be brighter than all the others. Now, I might try to dim this by putting on some tint on it or something like that, but for now, I'll leave it as is. That's pretty much it for this video. If you own a WRX, did you install a wing on your car? Did you put a STI wing or a duckbill style or something else? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways friends, that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.